the 7th year of love. My fiancé's assistant sent me a photo of them getting their marriage certificate. Looking at the picture, I calmly broke up with my girlfriend. The assistant called with a choked-up voice, begging me not to be mad. He said it was just a joke photo with Karina, who's under a lot of pressure at work, and to please understand. He said everything was his fault. On the other end of the phone was Karina, speaking in a tone she'd never used with me before. She said, "Honey, don't get upset. No need to explain to him." She added, "Where's he gonna go after leaving me?" I didn't respond. I just threw away the engagement ring and picked up my acceptance letter. I flew abroad and turned off my phone, starting to pack quietly. Karina didn't come home all night. She stumbled in the next morning, reeking of alcohol. Seeing me on the couch, she ordered in her usual commanding tone, "Make me some sugar water." I glanced up and didn't respond, just continued packing my things. Seeing me not answer, Karina came over, frowning. "Victor, are you deaf?" Noticing my packed luggage, she paused, then her face darkened. "What's this? You really plan to break up?" Without looking at her, I replied calmly, "Breaking up isn't something to joke about." Maybe it was my calm demeanor that made Karina's gaze turn icy. She kicked over my suitcase and looked down at me. "Have you had enough of this tantrum?" I glanced at her, a mocking smile on my lips. "A tantrum? You went and married someone else. Why would I listen to anything you say?" Karina looked even more impatient. "Haven't I explained? It was just for fun. Nick's got cancer. He wanted to give his parents some comfort before he passed. You know, he's been with me since graduation, more than an assistant, a friend. Why shouldn't I help him?" Her tone sounded condescending. "It's fine. Once he's gone, we can get the license again." I waved my hand, interrupting her ridiculous explanation. "Enough. There's no need to tell me. You have a husband now. Discuss things with him." Karina's expression turned cold again. "In the end, you're just unkind and don't trust me. If that's the case, we shouldn't get married." Her tone was threatening, but I was unfazed. "All right." Karina was taken aback, disbelief in her eyes. "You're serious?" I didn't answer, just picked up my suitcase and started to leave. As I passed Karina, she suddenly grabbed my wrist, her words icy. "Think it through. Without me, you're nothing." I looked into her eyes, this person I loved for 7 years, seeing only coldness and disdain now. It hurt, no doubt about it. I took a deep breath, smiled, and gently pried her fingers off. "Wish you both happiness." With that, I walked out without a backward glance. Before I closed the door, I heard Karina's furious voice behind me. "Victor, don't think you can come crawling back. Let's see how far you get without me." I stopped and turned around, not out of regret or longing. I just wanted to see the face of the girl I once loved so deeply, now so loathsome. Karina stomped to the doorway, gave me a cold look, and slammed the door with a loud bang, loud enough to express her anger. At the entrance to the apartment complex, I ran into Nick. Didn't need to ask. I knew he'd brought Karina back. He was probably waiting for us to fight so he could play the caring role. He lowered his window, glanced at my luggage, and smirked. "Oh, isn't it Victor? Got kicked out by Karina, huh?" I gave him a cold look, ignoring him, but he blocked my path, grinning mockingly. "Good riddance. You're too old for her anyway." I stopped, taking in his smirk, and laughed. "Yeah, I'm not a match for her. Someone like you living off her is just perfect." His expression changed. "You." I kicked him hard in the stomach and walked away without looking back. Trash doesn't deserve courtesy. That night, I found a hotel to stay in. Lying in bed, memories flooded back. Karina was once my everything. Unfortunately, she was a high and mighty princess, while I was just a regular bookworm. We met in college, though we didn't interact much. Like all the guys who liked her, I just watched her from afar. Followed her to class, out of class, to meals. In the end, I even switched majors just to be around her more. Until today, I'd never regretted that decision. Because that's what led us to get closer. I got picked by Karina for a project because of my good grades. I remember being so nervous that I stammered, finally blurting out, "I do." Karina laughed, her eyes crinkling. Sounds like you're taking wedding vows. Everyone teased me. I looked down, embarrassed but happy. She didn't mind, she even helped me out. Don't tease him. Victor's so talented. I'm the lucky one to pair up with him. After that, our relationship grew. When I confessed my feelings, she agreed without hesitation. We spent the college years as the couple everyone envied. I had excellent grades and got offers from international companies as soon as I graduated, even a scholarship to study abroad. But I turned them all down for Karina, starting at her family's company from the ground up. She also fought with her family to be with me, struggling for a space for us under her family's pressure. Sometimes I still can't make sense of it. Why Karina and I ended up like this. I mean, we both had the same goal, to provide each other with a stable future. But ever since Nick showed up, everything changed. He's younger than me, more energetic, and better at making people happy. At some point, our conversations shifted from sharing everything with each other to her talking about little details with Nick. At first, I was angry, jealous. But after a few arguments with Karina, seeing her indifferent expression and hearing her say I was making a big deal out of nothing, I got it. Her heart was no longer with me. It's not so much Nick's presence that bothers me. It's Karina's carefree attitude that breaks my heart. No matter what reason I give to try to hold on to her, as soon as Nick says something, she'd rush to him. She gave all her feelings for me to him. After 7 years, all she has for me is coldness and complaints. Still, I proposed to her. I thought maybe once we got married, she'd change. But seeing that marriage certificate with her name and another man's was the final straw. Looking out at the night skyline, I suddenly felt at peace. They say there's a 7-year itch in relationships where things just get stagnant. Maybe this is where Karina and I end. The next morning, I went to the company to resign. Honestly, it was just for show. My authority had long been undermined there. They didn't even question my resignation and approved it. Afterwards, the HR director called, pretending to be concerned. Too bad, Victor. We were looking forward to your wedding with Karina, she said in a tone dripping with sarcasm. I just smiled, unbothered. Don't worry, you'll get your invitation soon. Before I even left the building, Karina called. Victor, enough is enough. I rejected your resignation. You better stop or you won't get a penny and I'll kick you out. I chuckled coldly. 7 years together. Did she really think I was there for wealth, that money could sway me? Do whatever you want. I don't care, I replied and blocked her. Silence was bliss. I submitted my resignation again, and Karina agreed without hesitation. Once I got my papers, I left without looking back. That night, I slept better than ever, with no worries about Karina, the company, or anything else. Early morning, a loud ring woke me. Victor, what's your problem? The project's signing today, you better be there. Karina barked over the phone. I shook my head, waking up fully. Holding back annoyance, I moved the phone away and waited for her to finish. Then I said slowly, Ms. Lou, you must have forgotten. I quit yesterday and you agreed. So what does your project have to do with me? Victor, she snapped, her voice full of anger. I warn you, don't make me use legal means. Your resignation may have been accepted, but we haven't finished the handover. I can sue you if you don't show. I wasn't playing her game. I coldly replied, don't try to threaten me. If you'd read my resignation properly, you wouldn't be wasting your time talking to me. With that, I hung up. I didn't expect to run into Karina so soon after. After I quit, several companies reached out, offering opportunities. One came from a company's boss, inviting me to dinner. Couldn't refuse, so I went. The boss was generous, booking a high-end hotel. But as soon as I arrived, I saw familiar faces from my old company filling the lobby. I realized the hotel was owned by my previous firm, and Karina's project was likely there. As I hesitated, Nick appeared out of nowhere, blocking my way. Isn't that the loser? He sneered, challenging me. What, got cold feet now? I shot him a cold glance, smirked. I guess I didn't beat you enough last time. Coming back for more? Nick's face fell, he backed up a bit, humiliated. Victor, don't think you're all that, he barked. Karina's my wife now. You're just a useless failure. I ignored him, pushed past and entered the hotel. Nick was yelling about calling security, causing a scene. People were staring. I waved casually, acknowledging them, then proceeded upstairs. The boss had reserved a room on the second floor. But someone clearly didn't want me to leave easily. "Victor, stop right there." Karina stormed up in her high heels, looking me over with disdain. "On a day like this, you show up dressed like that? Even if you don't care about embarrassment." "I do." She told her assistant to take me for a makeover, but I shrugged them off, amused. "Karina, how many times do I have to tell you? Quit. We have no ties. I'm here for a meeting, not your charade. What I wear is none of your business." Karina was taken aback, almost reflexively mocking. "Meeting someone here? As if you, as an unwanted son-in-law, I really didn't belong here." I didn't bother explaining, turned around, and headed upstairs. But right then, another voice stopped me in my tracks. "Hey, Victor. Long time no see." I turned around, and a chubby middle-aged man was warmly approaching. It was Tom, the president of Gina Group and one of today's main figures. The project Karina mentioned was this collaboration with Gina Group. "Tom, long time no see." I walked over, and after a brief chat, Tom suddenly turned and looked at Karina. "I trust Victor completely. I can sign the project contract today, but I have one condition. Victor must be in charge of our projects moving forward." Hearing this, even Karina froze in disbelief, quickly shook my hand. "Tom, that's not right. I was about to say that I had already resigned, but Karina pulled me back with a sly smile aimed at Tom. "No problem, Tom. We can definitely do that." She grabbed my arm tightly. "Victor, you better cooperate with me," she whispered with a no-nonsense warning in her tone. I gave a snort of laughter and shook off her hand. With Tom present and everyone else looking on in confusion, I spoke up loud and clear. "I'm sorry, but I won't be participating in or collaborating on this project. I submitted my resignation yesterday, and in the future, I have no ties with Karina's company. And Miss Karina has already registered marriage with her assistant, which means she'll have nothing to do with me from now on." I gave Tom an apologetic smile. "Sorry, Tom. Looks like I won't be able to work with you anymore." Karina stood there in shock, not expecting I'd draw such a hard line. Tom's expression turned slightly grim. "Karina, is what he's saying true?" For ammo, Karina seemed at a loss, and Nick hurried over, all flattery. "Tom, don't worry about it. This guy's just a freeloader. What you're interested in is Gina Group's strength. I'll take full charge of the project now." Tom looked at him, then at Karina, and his eyes were filled with disdain and amusement. "A pretty boy trying to negotiate with me? Karina, your humor sure is something." Tom led his team out, but before leaving, he took my hand and said if I ever needed a job, they'd consider me first. I nodded and agreed, smiling. Once Tom's group left, Karina couldn't hold back and came rushing over, ready to slap me. "Victor, you jerk. Do you know how much you've cost the group with your little stunt?" I grabbed her wrist and pushed her away coldly. Karina, being pampered all her life, had never been treated like this. She looked at me with anger and disappointment. I spoke calmly. "I've told you, I've resigned. I have nothing to do with you or your company. Everything that happened today is due to your blind arrogance. It's none of my business." After that, I turned and headed upstairs, avoiding any more tangling with them. In the private room, I was getting along great with the person in charge. But considering future collaborations with Gina Group, which would inevitably involve Karina again, I declined the boss's enthusiastic invitation. As the evening ended, I was at the door, seeing the boss off. However, looking back, I noticed Karina still sitting in the corner of the lobby. Nick was squatting by her side, seemingly arguing about something. I wasn't interested and was about to leave when Karina suddenly spotted me. "Victor, wait a second." She hurriedly came over, grabbing my sleeve with a pouty face. "Victor, please don't be mad. Come home with me, okay? Didn't we promise to get married?" Nick followed, looking uneasy, his face going pale. "Karina, I feel terrible. Can you take me to the hospital?" There was a flicker of conflict in Karina's eyes, but she steeled herself and ignored him, looking at me with hope. Stop this, I know I was wrong. There was nothing between me and Nick. It's just a joke. Nick looked shocked, disbelief written all over his face. I sighed. Why, Karina? You've got a husband now. Watch what you say. But Karina acted like she didn't hear, clutching my hand and droning on about the past. I suddenly felt fed up and shook off her grip. Just because you're shameless doesn't mean I have to be too. Karina, you're the one who got registered with someone else. I let you be, but now you're pointlessly dragging me into this mess. What do you want? Not everyone has to live on your whims. My cold demeanor made Karina realize I wasn't joking. Panic flashed in her eyes. She quickly explained, No, Victor. I've always loved you. If you want, I'll divorce Nick immediately. Her voice choked with emotion, eyes red with tears, made her look strange to me. I stared at her blankly, feeling nothing. Once upon a time, even a slight frown from her would worry me for days. Now her actions only annoyed me. She's not heartbroken over losing me, but over losing a servile companion to boss around. Enough, Karina. Stop bothering me. If you really care, look at your poor new husband. She remained unresponsive, just hung her head, sobbing about it not being true, over and over. My only husband is you, can only be you. I know I was wrong. From now on, I've lost interest in listening. If she'd said that earlier, I might have risked everything for her. Now it's just irritating. I shrugged off her hand, coldly saying, Save it. Think about how to deal with today's breach of contract. Such a big project delay will definitely hit the group hard. Karina naturally understood. While she hesitated, I turned and strode away, but I underestimated Karina's persistence. It wasn't long before she found out where I lived and was waiting at the entrance. I was gonna ignore it, but as soon as she saw me, she ran right over, trying to hug me. I coldly sidestepped. Miss Karina, why are you here again? I was getting a bit impatient. Karina looked up, her eyes meeting mine, speaking sincerely. I've thought about it. My dad's handling things at the company, so I don't need to worry. But you're the most important person to me. I didn't say anything. Or maybe it was that I didn't know what to say. She thought I was agreeing with her and cautiously leaned closer, trying to hold my hand. Victor, I twisted my ankle trying to find you. I sneered, looking at the figure behind her. If you twisted your ankle, you should see a doctor or go complain to your real husband. Not me. Hearing my words, Karina's expression nearly cracked. She turned and saw Nick, looking hurt not far behind her. She shouted in frustration, I told you to stop clinging to me. Aren't you done yet? Then she turned back to me, softness in her eyes. Victor, I'm planning to divorce him. I've really realized my mistake. Can't you feel how much I love you? I took a good look at her. Her love? Was there even love for me? I didn't think so. As the eldest daughter of the Liu family, she's used to being the center of attention. She can't handle my constant rejections, especially since I used to be her plaything. She tried to conquer me, but if she succeeded, I'd end up like Nick, something tasteless to her. Your husband's still here. Shouldn't you be comforting him? After all, you guys have a marriage certificate. I said with a sarcastic smile. Nick had already moved to stand behind Karina. Upon hearing my words, he embraced her from behind. Karina, come on. Let's go home. Okay? Karina tried to struggle. I coldly added, Karina, stop bothering me. You made your choice, now deal with the consequences. From now on, I don't want to see you. Maybe my words hurt her pride, because her face shifted from hurt to anger. She turned back to Nick and shot me a dark, disdainful look. Victor, if you don't appreciate my kindness, don't blame me when you come begging. I just laughed and shook my head, completely uninterested. News about the breach of Karina's company had spread, especially her affair with her assistant. It became public gossip. Inevitably, as her ex, I got dragged into it too. My phone blew up with calls from tabloid reporters. I had no choice but to go to the phone company and cancel my number to get some peace. But just a few days later, Karina returned, bringing her family's bodyguards to corner me at my apartment entrance. She even threatened that if I didn't go with her, she wouldn't let me leave the building. Reluctant to cause trouble for the neighbors, I frowningly got in the car with her. "Karina, are you done causing a scene?" I questioned. Despite a flash of annoyance, Karina's expression quickly turned calm. "Victor, I'm here because of my father. He's in the hospital and wants to see you." Her tone wasn't arrogant like that night, but rather pleading. I shrugged it off and leaned back in the car, closing my eyes to rest. When we reached the hospital's premium room, I saw Karina's father. Once a commanding man, he now lay pale and lonely in the hospital bed. "Dad," Karina called softly. "I brought Victor." Karina's father opened his eyes, his gaze sharp, exuding an intense sense of authority even in such a state. I marveled at how even Karina, so domineering with me, was now submissive, fiddling nervously with her clothes. It was her little nervous habit. In the past, I might have comforted her, but times change. I didn't need to play along anymore. So, I casually sat on the sofa and crossed my legs, smirking. "What's the matter?" Karina's father's gaze froze for a moment. Then he spoke flatly. "You should know that the company's stocks have plummeted." I chuckled but said nothing. His expression darkened. "I called you here to discuss marrying Karina soon. That way we can go ahead with the deal with Tom. It benefits both of us." He sounded weak due to his condition, but his disdainful, commanding tone was clear. Since he found out I was dating Karina, he did all he could to stop it. He thought that, as a poor guy from the countryside, I was after Karina's family's wealth. To this day, he still thinks the same. I laughed, now understanding their game. Failing to mend bridges with Tom after offending him, they'd turn to me once they learned of Tom's favorable opinion of me. I'd been a pawn to them all along, with no rights of my own. "I've arranged for her to divorce Nick. As long as you agree, you can marry my daughter right away." Karina looked at me with teary eyes, hoping I'd nod in agreement. I looked her straight in the eye, speaking slowly and clearly. "Sorry, I don't want anyone's leftovers." As soon as I finished, Karina's father's face darkened, and he slapped her hard. "Shameless thing, stirring up such a mess for a pretty boy and always making a fuss with me. Don't you see your worth?" Ignoring his underlying insults, I just smiled, not bothering to respond. Karina held her reddened cheek, staring at me, clearly hoping I'd say something. I stayed silent, just observing coldly. Then I snorted, got up, and left. Feeling his pride wounded, Karina's father could no longer maintain the pretense, leaping from bed and hurling insults at my back as I left. I ignored him entirely, treating it like a dog barking. I just didn't expect Karina to leave her dad and chase after me. "What's up?" I asked, feeling pretty impatient. Karina is choking back tears. "Victor, I divorced Nick. There's nothing stopping us now. Won't you marry me?" I don't say a word, just stare at her coldly. My meaning is clear. Karina starts crying, shaking her head. "No way. You didn't used to be like this. Is there really no chance for us? You know I love you." "But I don't love you anymore." I cut her off. "I don't believe you." Karina gets more emotional. "I don't believe you, Victor. You used to love me so much. Did you forget?" She's yelling at me hysterically. It's hard to believe this was once the cool and composed CEO. I smirk, look at her without any feeling. "You said it yourself. That was before. The Karina I loved is gone." My words hit Karina like a thunderclap. She shakes her head furiously, still trying to make a case. But I'm out of patience. I don't want this back and forth, or hear any apologies. I push her away and walk off. She collapses, crying hard. After that day, we cut all ties. Though the buzz about Karina's company going down makes headlines. To pay off a huge penalty to Tom, she tried to cut costs by downsizing. The whole company got in a state of panic, and the bad news just flooded the media. If her family didn't have such strong roots, could have been a total disaster. But I didn't feel much about it. Karina got herself into this mess. Meanwhile, Tom reached out to me again, with a solid offer. I was tempted, but knowing I'd have to deal with the Karina's family, I turned it down. I contacted my college mentor, asked about studying abroad. He was really pleased, since he was pretty disappointed when I gave up a big opportunity for Karina. Seeing me get back on track now, he's very supportive. Victor, you're young. It's time to work hard. After retaking exams a few times, I got accepted into a famous school abroad. To celebrate, my mentor organized a reunion with old classmates. There, I ran into Karina again. In just a few months, she was almost unrecognizable. Karina broke the awkward silence. Hey, long time no see, Victor. She gave a smile, but it seemed a little forced. I nodded, didn't say much. Her eyes dimmed. I must look terrible now, right? Not too bad, just a bit tired. I answered honestly. Her eyes welled up again, colors of hurt and longing in her voice. Victor, I thought I'd never see you again. She stepped close, almost touching me. I frowned and stepped back. Talking is fine, but standing so close, people might get the wrong idea. My action and words startled Karina. Her eyes were full of sorrow. I got annoyed. Who was she putting on this show for? If there's nothing else, let's go inside. The professor is waiting. I tossed these words over my shoulder and brushed past her. When people heard I got into a top school abroad, they raised their glasses to me. After a few rounds, I was getting buzzed. My mentor, not much of a drinker, left early. I understood he was giving us space. With him gone, folks loosened up more, chatting and drinking different topics. Someone brought me into the conversation. I answered all the questions. Then the unavoidable topic of me and Karina came up. In college, we were the golden couple. I frowned, picked up my drink, then spoke once everyone was looking. Karina's a rich girl, not someone I can match. Thanks to our past, I've become a better person. Then I downed my drink. People sensed it was a tense subject, so the conversation shifted. Still, some wouldn't let it go, pushing for Karina and me to play couple games. Seeing me set down my drink, refusing to partake, Karina tried to help me out, yet the others kept pressing. Karina sighed, sitting next to me. Almost instinctively, I stood up. Karina seemed tipsy, stumbled and grabbed me. Folks shouted, "Kiss, kiss." A gleam flickered in Karina's eyes. She actually leaned in for a kiss. I lost it, shoved her away. "You've had enough?" My sudden outburst froze the crowd. The room grew tense. I ignored it, stared Karina down. You know full well why people are joking around. Are you seriously unclear about our situation? Karina bit her lip, looking pitiful. I had no pity. I said louder, "We broke up because she married someone else." The crowd buzzed with chatter. I didn't bother sticking around, just said I was drunk and left. Karina wouldn't let up, chasing after me. Couldn't believe how clingy she's gotten. I missed her cool demeanor. I stopped, turned, gave her a cold stare. "Are you done? With a husband and everything now? Isn't this beneath you?" Karina stopped, tears flowing. "I know you're leaving. I just wanted to see you a bit more." My heart didn't stir. When we were together, she didn't treasure it. Now she's acting all lovey. For whom? Besides, I saw the photos Nick sent a month ago. They had patched things up. So, why is Karina bothering with me? You have someone, a spouse. Shouldn't you stick by that? She shook her head, all riled up. "No way. It's completely over between him and me." She frantically explained. "That's when I found out. From the very start, Nick faked his illness. He was never sick. He just wanted Karina's sympathy, to steal her away from me." Watching her, tears streaming down her face, her whole body trembling, I felt no sympathy. Yeah, Nick is a jerk, but all his excessive behaviors couldn't have happened without Karina's consent. So, rather than saying Nick deceived her, it's more like she willingly let him deceive her. But now everything's said and done. Why bother arguing about who's right or wrong? Karina, let me go. And let yourself go too. Wouldn't it be better to end things gracefully? The next time I saw Karina was the day I boarded my flight. She was wearing a mask, walking behind me, thinking I didn't know. I just played along, headed into the lounge. She sat right behind me, I pretended not to notice, wearing headphones quietly waiting. Before leaving, I got a call that totally surprised me. It was from Karina's dad. His tone had turned extremely polite, full of flattery. "Victor, come back. I apologize. Can you give my daughter another chance? I know, I wronged you back then, wronged you both. But now, I've seen your capabilities, how you've cared for her. Now that you're gone, she's been miserable every day. As her father, it's heartbreaking. So, I'm begging you, for old time's sake, give my daughter one more chance." I got up and looked directly at Karina. "Karina, I won't repeat myself, so listen up. From now on, I am a stranger to you and to your family." I walked to the boarding gate, glanced back casually. Karina was sobbing, collapsed on the floor. I didn't look back, didn't turn around. Not until I was on the plane, looking out at the blue skies and white clouds, did my thoughts finally calm. I deleted all the contacts related to Karina. After the plane landed, staring at the completely unfamiliar surroundings, a tinge of unease crept in, but it was quickly replaced by excitement. "You're Victor?" A young, vibrant girl ran up to me, holding a sign. "I'm Linda. I'm here to pick you up." I reached out my hand, with a smile. "Hi, Linda." In the days abroad, I threw myself back into my studies. Those messy thoughts in my heart slowly faded away amidst the busy coursework. When I almost forgot the name Karina, one late night, I received a call from across the ocean. "Is this Victor?" "Yes, it is. I'm Karina's lawyer. She passed away at 3:10 p.m. Beijing time. Before she died, she entrusted me to pass on a message to you." Before I could respond, Linda, who had just finished her shower, came over, towel drying her hair. "Honey, who's calling so late?" I smiled, gave her a reassuring look. "Don't worry, it's no one important." With that, I didn't give the caller a chance to speak. Dropped a "I don't want to hear it" and hung up decisively. Linda snuggled into my arms, her eyes filled with affection. "Honey, let's visit my parents tomorrow. They want to meet you." I smiled and gently tapped her nose. "Sure."